Hello, welcome back. So today we will talk about how to use charcoal on a portrait. A little bit of basic steps on what we can do to make our charcoal look more realistic. So going back, our first step would be reference photo. Charcoal is simply a very plain black hues. So it's very important that your reference photo have a very good contrast to it. So you have to make sure that your reference photo have a very good source of light and shadow. I think in whatever medium you're going to use, what's important is our light and shadow. Now we'll be only using two kinds of tools, main tools rather, which is my Diamant soft charcoal and my 2H graphite pencil for the highlights. So first things first, as you can see, unlike with watercolor, I used to work with a lot of areas in a watercolor, but on the charcoal I work on one area at a time. The reason behind this is that the charcoal is easily smudged. So in this case I started off with the face. So what I do here, as you could see, is I don't really use charcoal in all of the areas, but I'm blocking it. Blocking the charcoal and just simply using my blending stump to spread the charcoal all over the piece. Now, I use blending stump and at the same time I use a paintbrush to spread the charcoal powder to the other areas where it should be lighter than usual. Then I love to use a soft tissue when I'm using my graphite because it blended out so smoothly. Unlike with a cotton buds or a Q-tip, they leave that harsh round edges since it's a Q-tip. But if you use a tissue, you wrap it all over your fingertip and you rub it on a circular motion, it would be more soft and smooth when you blend it out. Same goes with the paintbrush. There's no rough edges and all. So this is a cold press watercolor paper. So as you could see, it's a little bit difficult to get that all values dark. So you have to work on layer after layer. So my first layer is a little bit gritty, as you could see, because the paper lines are showing, but that's okay. Once you blend it out, you just have to put charcoal again on top of it to make it even more darker. As you could see, I'm going back on the darker areas with my charcoal, and then I would use my blending stump or my paintbrush to spread it all out or even it out as well. And I didn't work on different areas because I don't want to smudge the charcoal all over my hands. So I'm very carefully working on the left side first and trying to polish it all out before I move on the right side of the portrait. So this girl has a mohawk hair and I love it. This is actually a reference photo of Naima Mora from America's Next Top Model Season 3. I remember it was back in high school when I was watching her won the entire competition. Now, as you can see, I'm using my regular this is Faber-Castell eraser because I ran out of my kneaded eraser and it's still usable. However, as you could see, I cut it into half to get that small sharp edge, to have that crisp white line when you erase the charcoal, because it's too thick it will give me a rounded um, highlight instead of a crisp straight in a small line. But that is okay. This is what you call DIY. You could always use different kinds of eraser if you don't have a kneaded eraser. But overall, this is a very good study of how you could see the difference of using charcoal and graphite. So you use charcoal on the darker spots, you blend it out, and then you work with your graphite. Use cross hatching when you are working with charcoal and graphite. Then you smooth it out using a blending stump or a paintbrush, or if you really don't want to waste tissue paper, you could go with Q-tip. However, I would strongly suggest to go with a tissue paper because it's more smoother than a Q-tip. So I hope you like this portrait and it helps you somehow have an idea on how a charcoal works, and I'll see you